In this video, I'm going to teach you how to set up your website in Opencart for search engine optimization. So the first thing you want to do is log into your admin area and go into System and Settings, and then you'll want to go into your store. Now this is a demo site here that I'm showing you. So you'll go into your store, and then you'll go over to the Server tab here, and you just want to make sure first of all that this is checked. Use SEO URLs basically means that instead of when you go to your product page, it doesn't have some weird URL here that says index.php, product ID equals 174 or something like that, which Google doesn't care what the product ID is. What they care about is a good name, and you want that name to appear in the URL itself. And so basically what we're doing is we're forcing Opencart to say, hey, show the names rather than showing some strange product ID number. And so that will really help you right there, first of all. The next thing you want to do is go into your products and your categories. I'm just going to show you the products, and the categories are pretty much about the same, but the products have a few more things in it, so I'll show you the products. But you do want to go into the categories as well and fix those as well. So let's go into a product here. And let's just go ahead and go into this iPhone since we're already on it on the other page. And so you want to make sure, so basically, let me back up here. When you're on the products page, you'll want to go through anything that you have enabled and just kind of go through each product with a fine-tooth comb and just make sure everything is set up exactly the way you want it. But also, once you do get it all set up, go back in and go into every product that you have enabled and make sure that all these SEO fields are set up properly. And I'm going to go through and explain each one of them to you. So I'm going to go into iPhone here. And it's these first two tabs that we're going to most worry about. So the product name, we obviously want a good descriptive name. Now that's going to be the product name that's going to be shown right here as well. So there are certain things that you want to make sure they're good and descriptive for your customers so that they want to buy it. But then there's also other fields that you want to make sure that they're good and descriptive for Google, so that Google will find your website or find your product, and also that it will display it properly when in the listing itself. When somebody types in iPhone or iPhone whatever, that it will list your website in Google's list properly, and I'm going to show you what I mean here. So iPhone, you want to have a good descriptive name there. You want to fill in a really good explanation using keywords if you can, using secondary keywords if you can. Now, a primary keyword would be iPhone for this. Another one would be phone. Those are great primary keywords. A secondary keyword might be Mac, might be iOS, might be things like that are relative to the product. So if I was, for example, selling teddy bears, good primary keywords would be teddy bear, would be brown teddy bear, something like that. But a secondary keyword would be children, because children have to do with teddy bears. So you want to make sure you have both good keywords, and those are just going to be descriptions on the page. They'll be right here. So those also need to be good descriptions that are very easy to read for your clients, that give your clients a good idea of what your product is. So you don't want to over keyword spam them. You don't want to have iPhone on there and just overdo it. You want to actually make this a good description that actually tries to sell your product. So next we have the meta tag title. So the meta tag title is really what Google is going to see as the title of that page. So even though we have iPhone here as the title of this product, up above on the tab, which you can't see, but up above on the tab, it should say iPhone or some type of description that Google would want to put up there. Now, so that could also be helpful, because when Google does a listing of your product, it will give the title and it will also give the description. So you want to make sure that you're not just saying iPhone, that you're actually giving a little bit better description here, because this one is for people who haven't come to your website yet. This one is something that you want basically people to see it and want to come to your website. Now you want to make sure you don't have duplicate titles. So you want to vary them as much as you can. So if you have 3 different iPhones and one of them is black or white or whatever they are, you want to make sure that you label them properly in the title itself as well. You don't want to have duplicate titles. You also don't want to have duplicate descriptions or duplicate product names as well. You want to vary all those as much as possible so that it really does help you to place properly, but also you don't want Google to find duplicate content, because as Google finds duplicate content, it'll just start ignoring it. Now, the meta tag description, you could copy this and paste this in here, but that's not really the best thing to do, because this is the description that appears in the search. So when somebody searches for an iPhone, you want them to first of all see, you basically are trying to get them to come to your website. And you want them to first of all see keywords. So you'd want to put iPhone in there as well. But you'd want to, go in and say iPhone, whatever it is, iPhone 6, blah, 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 and then go off and start describing it. And so you do want to vary these if you can as much as possible. This is really just kind of an overall review of what this is. So this should be a long paragraph explaining exactly what you have to your client, where this is really just a synopsis, an overview of the product itself. And so sometimes these could take some time to really write them out and fine tune them, but in the end it will work out better for you to do that. Meta tag keywords. Now this is where you'll go through and you'll just list every keyword that has to do with this product. Don't list keywords just to list them if they don't have anything to do with the product. You want to make sure that they're relevant to the product. And a good idea is to try to put keywords that are here in here as well, because Google will look at this, but they really will kind of look at this more. And I believe that they actually will kind of compare the two as well. If you're saying camera in here, but you never mention that the iPhone has a camera up here, then Google might just say, you know what, they're just trying to fool us here because the description says nothing about a camera. So you want to make sure you do put a good list of keywords here, but try to make sure that those keywords are also on the page as well. And you also want to make sure that these vary from product to product. So if you have an iPhone 6 and an iPhone 5, then describe them that way. And so you would do iPhone 6 here, and then you would say camera, and of course you'd give a description of the camera and different things like that. And so you'd basically just separate all these keywords with commas. Now, product tags. This is kind of a good thing with Opencart, is that it'll actually put a tag right down right here, and these tags will link back to the search. So when somebody does a search on your site, and let me just show you. So if I search for iPhone on my site here, it's going to list it here, right? So what if I wanted to have it listed under stuff as well? Now, of course, it's not a good example, but I'm just going to show you what it's doing here. Oh, I need to make sure everything else is there. So I'm just going to fill them in quickly. I think that was actually the only required one was that one, but anyway. So now if we go here and let's go back to the home page, and let's go click here. And you can see now it has stuff here. Now if I click on stuff, it's linked it to the word stuff. That could be good if you do have a secondary keyword that you want to make sure that people can search for. But it also helps Google to see that there is a product, and the product, Google likes links, and they like keywords in links. So these tags are actually good to have here. So if you can put them in here, do it. And all you really need is a keyword. So you could put iPhone, iPhone 6, iPhone 5. You could do related products, stuff like that. You just want to make sure that you don't confuse your customer, but you also want to make sure you don't overdo your keywords as well. Just like always, you don't want to overkill the keywords, because Google will start to not like you too much if you overdo it as well. One other thing that I wanted to point out is if you look up here, you can see that this says iPhone ? Tag equals stuff. So now we have a new URL, and Google might see this as a duplicate URL to this, because if I go to this, it shows me the same product. But Opencart already has this taken care of, and this is built into Opencart. At least Opencart 2.0 I know has this, and up from there. But if I view the source of this page and I click on, or I do a search for Canonical, you'll see that there's a Canonical link here, and that Canonical link basically tells Google, you know what, you may have come here through a different URL, but this is the actual URL that you need to index this this product by. And so Google starts to ignore all these duplicates, and if they went into different categories and found that one product, it's going to have a different URL for it. So if I came in here and went through phones and clicked on the iPhone, you'll see that it says smartphones, iPhone. So the URL is completely different. But right here, we're telling Google, hey, don't worry about it says smartphone. Don't worry about it says search equals or whatever. This is the real URL. So this is something that's already built into Opencart. So I just wanted to point that out, that is already there. So making sure that you have those things set up properly should help out your search engine optimization tremendously. And if you have any questions, let us know. Thanks.